All right, guys, I'm going to break down all the stats for San Diego and give you guys my 2026 real estate prediction. Here we go. So first, guys, I want to start off with where we are today in January. If we look back to 2025, we have some mixed reports coming out, but we're showing somewhere between a 2.4 to 2.9% appreciation for San Diego County. So we did see some appreciation in home values, very modest amount. However, we did see some appreciation in this low sales volume type of year. We actually were down 3.3% from a year in 2024 where sales were way down already. Well, sure enough, we were down even further with even less sales volume from the year prior. So values went up, but sales actually went down. It's kind of an odd mix. So less sales, but values actually went up last year. Why is that? Well, what myself and most analysts are kind of saying out there is it's this mortgage lock-in effect is what they're calling it. And basically we're seeing majority of the homeowners out there have these low interest rates, right? These 3-4% interest rate, shoot, some are down in the twos even. So those folks, they're doing one of two things. Either they're just not selling and they're keeping their home off the market, or the folks that do want to sell and they have these lower interest rates, they're holding tight. Right? We're seeing very few homeowners lower their price on the home that they're trying to sell just to create that sale. They'd rather sit tight. If the home doesn't sell, well, they'll keep it. They'll rent it because it actually pencils that they could rent it. And so they're just not as motivated to sell. So as long as we have this lock-in effect, we're gonna see values, at least stay where they are. And then as soon as we see some signs of positive market outlook, and we see consumers kind of come back to the market, that's when we'll start to see appreciation. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is why I think affordability is actually on our side. And not because we're seeing home prices come down, which we're not. Some markets are, don't get me wrong, but San Diego, we're seeing values increase. It's really this slow effect that we're seeing with affordability where home values are staying relatively even and we're seeing incomes rise, we're seeing interest rates come down, and we're seeing homes become more affordable for folks. We also have this buildup, right, of younger demographic that is starting to enter the workforce and making more income, and that's going to eventually catch up as long as values actually stay where they are. So affordability, I know it doesn't feel that way, but affordability is a factor, and real estate is becoming more affordable. So guys, what are my predictions for 2026 when it comes to home values? Well, if you look back historically, San Diego has typically outpaced the national average. We're on average recently about 1 to 3% more than the national appreciation amount. Okay, that includes last year. So most analysts are projecting a really average year for real estate. We have most of them saying somewhere around 1.5%. Analysts like Zillow, Redfin, National Association of Realtors. So I'm a little more optimistic for San Diego just because I'm in the trenches every day. I feel the demand build up. There's a lot of buyers that want to get into this market that are sitting on the sidelines. So I'm going to say that we're going to be at that higher amount, somewhere around that 3 to 4% appreciation compared to the national average of about 1.5%. So I'm bullish on this market. I know that doesn't sound like much because we've seen these, 10, 20% appreciation years, but we don't want to see those. We want healthy, steady growth. And that means a 3 to 5% appreciation year. That's a relatively healthy, good year for us. On the flip side, I do think we're going to see more sales. We are not going to see another year of negative sales. We should jump up, I would say somewhere around 5 to 7% of more volume, so more transactions happening. We're already feeling it. Coming out of December, beginning of January, we see that the market is on the uprise. And so I am projecting more volume this year. So I wanted to add this section to the video, and it's really what is going to cause our market to maybe go away from the projections that I just put out there. Really, guys, it's the uncertainty in the political environment that we're seeing. Because on both sides, whether it's creating motivation or it's creating hesitation, that is really dictating most people's decisions right now. And whether they are motivated to sell or buy, or whether they are, hesitant, it is dictated on the uncertainty around really the economy and the world environment right now. So something to keep an eye on. And I don't like watching the news, but definitely keep an eye on what is going on politically, because that is dictating our market. When things start to come back in a positive environment and we see some certainty in our market, I guarantee you guys, the market is gonna boom, and we're going to see much more appreciation than 3%. There's just too many people on the sidelines and too many people that want to get into our market. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to myself. I love talking about this stuff. Even if you just want to brainstorm, please reach out to myself or somebody here on the True Local team. Thanks for watching. Take care.